come with me. We'll talk, but no places too far. Come with me. We'll talk, but no places too far to go. We can take you around the world. Catch this flight with me. We'll talk, but no places too far to go. New places, new faces, yeah, new zip codes. New money, NFTs and plus crypto. Only care cash no more. Digital currency on me. Overseas we back and forth. Round trips all aboard, baby. There's room at the top. We'll save a spot for you. Can't no one limit us, so you should come with me. We'll talk, but no places too far. Come with me. We'll talk, but no places too far to go. We can take you around the world. Catch this flight with me. We'll talk, but no places too far to go.
Great AM Tava Nation, come on in, tag your guests. I'm so excited to be here today. Just want to let each and every one of you know you could be anywhere right now, but instead you are here, Tava HQ, and I promise you, whether you realize it or not, you are in the right place at the right time. So we're going to give everybody about a good 15, 20 seconds to tag your distributors, your guests. I see we have Miss Banks tuning in all the way from New York. Who else do we have on here? Come on now. Let's go ahead and let's blow this up. I see we have Jessica coming in. All right, glad to see you, Miss Hill. Let's see who else is on this live before we get started. We're going to give everyone, I would say, let's say 30 seconds, 30 more seconds. Stephanie, I see you. Glad to see you, champion. Glad that you're on here. Make sure you tag some distributors. I see Miss Mulaney, happy Saturday to you as well. Glad to have each and every one of you on here. Let's see who else is on here. Ready to reboot. I love it. Miss Monica Ross, glad to have you on here as well. Tammy, Houston, Texas is in the house. How you doing, champion? Glad to have you on here as well. Tracy from Chicago. All right, we are going to get started. I'm excited to be here. First and foremost, I have to give it up to our corporate, have to give it up for our CEOs for even allowing me to be on this platform. Mr. and Mrs. Lloyd, I have the utmost love and respect for them, as well as our entire corporate team. Shout out to Lachelle and Rosalind and everyone in corporate. It's so many of you all. I don't want to leave anyone out, but thank you all again for this opportunity. And I'm not going to be long today, but I am going to be strong. For those who do not know who I am, my name is Milton Burt, and I'm honored to be here with Tava. I hope each and every one of you have your pen and pad ready, because you know what they say. They say note takers are money makers. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Note takers are money makers. And I'm just here to share some nuggets with you that may help you in your business, the way it's helped a lot of our team in our type of business. And hopefully many of you get something from our training today. And then afterwards, hopefully we may be able to have some time for questions. So it's a couple of things I want to talk about today. And I'm just honored to be here. I, of course, have to give thanks to God, because without God, none of us would be here today. And if that's not just exciting enough, I don't know what it is to be in the land of the living, because there were some people, and I'm not on here to preach, but there's some people who thought they were going to wake up today, but unfortunately did not. And for all of us to be here today, that is a blessing in itself. So I hope you all are excited as I am for just being in the land of the living. All right. So we're going to go over a couple of the basics today, because I feel that that's where we need to start. Because one thing I want to tell each and every one of you that's on here is that it doesn't matter what company you're a part of. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. And I've been doing it for, I would say it'll be going on 8 years, January 26, 2023. I've been in this industry full time. Literally, I mean, I've ate, slept, everything about this industry. And one thing I can tell you is it's the same, no matter what company you're a part of, okay? Volume goes in, commissions come out. I'm going to say that again. Volume goes in and commissions come out. We only do two things in network marketing. We gather a handful of loyal customers, people we know, love, and trust, and we teach others how to do the same. You may want to write that down. It sounds so cliche, so simple, but we only do two things in any company in network marketing. We gather a handful of loyal customers because we want loyal customers. And the reason we want loyal customers is because we want residual income. That's something a lot of people miss. It's not meant for us to, it's good to work hard. You always want to work hard, but you want to have it may be a season in your business where you want to travel and just, take a step back. And you can do that if you go after loyal customers that will allow for you to build residual income. So we go out, we gather a handful of loyal customers, and we teach others how to do the same. That's us building our army, okay? So in my mind, if that's all we do in network marketing, then it's two things we should really be focused on. I mean, we could sit here and act like it's top secret on this and this code, XYZ, this the secret formula. But at the end of the day, all we do is we gather a handful of loyal customers and we teach others how to do the same. So before I share that with you, I want to share something with you all that was on my heart. And I'm going to read it to you. I just actually texted to myself because I was actually sitting here this morning and I was looking through some notes of mine. And I had made a post about 3 years ago. It was about 4 years ago. May have been 4 years ago. I was on a 5-star trip, and I just won my 4th 5-star trip with a particular company, back to back. And I had made a post because during that time I was really heavy into weightlifting and push-ups and a whole lot of different things. I was, gaining weight as far as muscle mass, and I was excited about it. And I had made a post because while I was on that trip, I almost tried to allow myself to make an excuse. And I made this post, and it's so powerful, and it's going to go with what I'm going to talk about today because I believe it's going to help you. And some of you may even want to jot this down. And what I'm going to share with you is the biggest battle you will ever face in life, the biggest battle you will face in your Tyler business, the battle that you all face right now. I'm going to share it with you, and then we're going to tie it into what I'm going to talk about today. All right. So this was 4 years ago I made this post. I was in Phoenix, Arizona. The biggest battle you will ever face in life is the battle between what you know versus how you feel. You cannot make important decisions in life based off of how you feel because your feelings, not just your feelings, my feelings as well, are stupid and they have no brain. Just as your brain has no heart or feelings. That's why when a person goes with their brain, they seem heartless. And when a person goes with their heart or how they feel, they seem thoughtless. All right. And then I went into, for example, I really didn't feel like getting up early today and going to the gym, but I had to overlook how I felt. And we could tie this back into Tava, right? I could say, for example, I may not have felt like going out today and showing the plan, or I may not have felt like doing a training, or I may not have felt like going to get a customer, right? All right. But I had to overlook how I felt and ask myself, what do I know? What are the facts, Milton? And the facts are the facts, and they will never ever change. That's the best. That's the greatest thing about facts. They'll never change. Which are my goals in life don't care about how I feel. And if I don't put in the work, I will not get the results. So the moral of the story is always go with what you know when you're making important decisions in life and regarding your type of business. Always take time and ask yourself, what do I know? What are the facts? It will definitely help you make great destiny decisions. I don't know if y'all caught what I just said, and I'm gonna tie it back in. I'm gonna just say it one more time because I feel like somebody wants me to say it one more time. All right. So the biggest battle you'll ever face in time and in life is the battle between what you know versus how you feel. You cannot make important decisions in Tava based off of how you feel. Because your feelings, not just your feelings, my feelings as well, I don't want anyone to think I'm talking about them. Our feelings are stupid and they have no brain. Just as your brain has just as your brain has no heart or feelings. That's why when a person goes with their brain, they seem heartless. And when a person goes with their heart or how they feel, they seem thoughtless. All right. For example, I may not have felt like doing this or doing that when it comes to my type of business. I'm just speaking to how some of you may feel, right? On a regular basis or every now and then. But I had to overlook how I felt and ask myself, what do I know? What are the facts? And the facts are the facts, and they will never ever change. Which is my goals, which are my goals in life, don't care about how I feel. And if I don't put the work in, I will not get the results. So the moral of the story is always go with what you know when you're making important decisions in life and in time. Always take time and ask yourself, what do I know? What are the facts? And it will help you make great destiny decisions when it comes to Tava and life and in your business. So the reason I want to hit on that is because what you must know is that if you don't put the work in Tava, it's not going to work for you or anything. I can give you these hints, these tips, whatever you want to call them. But the moral of the story is if you don't apply the nuggets, if you don't go out and talk to people, if you don't go do what you need to do, and if you operate in your feelings, you'll never have to see the success that you want to see in Tava. I had to have that real conversation with myself. I talk to myself a lot too, because what I find out is that if you don't talk to yourself, people think the people that talk to themselves are crazy, but what I find out, if you spend too much time listening to yourself, you'll really be crazy, right? You have to talk to yourself because even the word tells you when negative things come against you, you have to cast down wicked imagination. You have to cast that stuff down. When that little voice in your head comes and tells you that you're not enough, you're not going to make it in Tava, it'll never happen for you like it happened for our diamonds and double diamonds or this person or that person. You'll never do this. You'll never do this. You have to cast that stuff down, right? And get yourself back on track. So I just want you all to know that you have to always ask yourself, what are the facts? And the facts are the facts. So let's talk about gathering customers and distributors real quick, all right? So 2 things we do in Tava. Gather a handful of customers and we teach others how to do the same. Now, again, everyone has their own method when gathering customers and distributors. This is just my method. I'm not saying that it's the right way. I'm just saying this is the way I use. And there's no one way because 2 + 2 = 4, just like 3 + 1 = 4, right? But when I like to go out and gather customers, and how I did in all of the businesses I've been a part of, I like the favor approach. I love the favor approach because people naturally love to help. They naturally love to help. A lot of people don't like to be sold stuff, especially if they've been sold so much in the past. They do not want to be sold something, more than likely. But they wouldn't mind doing you a favor because they know, love, and trust you. And again, people naturally love to help. So, of course, we all understand that in order to go out and get customers, you would need a list of people that you're going to go let know that you need a favor from. Realize I didn't say ask them for a favor. I said you're going to let them know you need a favor. So if I'm talking to, let's say, my uncle, I'm talking to my Uncle Mike. I really do have Uncle Mike. Many of you know Uncle Mike because I talk about him a lot. All right. He's one of the biggest goats in our family from a business standpoint and everything else. And look up to him a lot, as well as all my uncles. I have 4 uncles. But let's say I'm just talking to my Uncle Mike, or I could be talking to my Uncle Terrence, Uncle Gam, Uncle Tyrone, right? And I'll call him up. And keep in mind, I call. I don't text. I know a lot of people are into this new thing where you only text. You don't pick up the phone to call, but I'm kind of, I guess you would say, old school. I like to call people, right? Because you can't hear enthusiasm through a text. You can't hear my excitement. You can't hear my sense of urgency through a text, right? So I may call up my Uncle Mike or Uncle Terrence, and I say, hey, Unc, how you doing? He say, I'm doing well. I say, great. Unc, I need a small favor. I need a small favor. And of course, my uncle's going to say, well, what's that, nephew? What do you need? First off, Uncle, let me let you know my why. One thing I've learned over the last 7 going on 8 years is that you always, and you may want to write this down, you always want to share your why with your people that you're talking to, whether it's a relative, an uncle, a mom, whoever. You always want to show your why because people can relate to your why, especially if your why is what many of your whys are, which I already know. Most of you have children on here. All right, that's your why, right? People love to help once again, so you want to show your why. Say, hey, uncle, before I let you know the favor I need, I want to let you know my why. Okay, hey, uncle, I've been working crazy at the job. It's been kicking my behind. Haven't had a lot of time to spend with the kids, and I understand that in these years, right here, in their teenage years, it's so important I spend as much time with them as possible to prepare them for adulthood. And I really, really need you to do me a favor. I recently started my own health and wellness business. I'm so excited. I'm one customer away from a promotion, and I need you to do me a favor and try one of my products. I need you to come through for me the same way I would come through for you. Some of you all may want to write that down. Okay, you got to get the right verbiage because you got to make them think, right? Like, man, my nephew would do this for me. My nephew would come through for me, right? I need you to come through for me the same way I will come through for you. And the best part is not only are you going to love the products because we have the best products in the world, it has so many health benefits. There are so many health benefits in our products, but you are going to be the reason why I'm able to spend time with your great nieces and nephews. It's going to be because of you. I'm going to have you to thank when I get this promotion. So, I need you to come through for me the same way I come through, the same way I will come through for you. Keywords that I said when I actually was talking to my uncle. I said, I need. A lot of people, I feel, make a mistake and they ask. And when you ask a favor, you ask something, or you say, do you mind? It doesn't seem as important because, you know, if you're asking, it doesn't seem like it's a sense of urgency. When you say, I need, one word can change everything for you. When you say, I need, it's a whole different type of situation. When you say, do you mind? Can you? It doesn't seem like it's important. So people are probably more than likely quickly to tell you, I'm okay, I'll think about it. Or, you know, do you want to try? People ask their customers, do you want to try? No, I may not want to try. But when you put it out there in that way, as far as I need you, and you say those keywords I just shared with you, I promise you, you'll probably get 8 to 9 out of 10 customers that you let know you need, not ask, that you need a favor. You'll get it. I promise you that if you use the verbiage that I am giving you, it works. It's been working for myself. It's been working for the team. It's been working for me. It's been working for us for almost 8 years. Over 8 years. It's been working, right? Because again, I'm telling you right now, it's all psychological. So it's certain words and certain buttons that you're going to have to push to get your customer to feel compelled to support you in most cases. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some people that are just going to support you because they love you. You don't have to really do all that explaining. You don't have to have the perfect sayings, the perfect words. You don't have to have none of that. They just want to do it because they love and trust you. But from what I've seen, this approach has worked a lot. Another thing that I like to do when gathering customers, I know people that are going through health challenges who may need to lose weight or may be dealing with lack of energy because they're fighting a certain ailment or something like that. Those are other people that are on my list because I genuinely want to help these people, okay? But I want you all to really take from what I said was having the proper approach. Everything is about approach. When you're gathering distributors, when you're gathering customers, it's the exact same thing. You have to have the right approach, okay? So that's how I gather customers, and hopefully that helps someone. When it comes to gathering distributors, and I've been training on this, it's very important that you understand that the less you say, the more money you're going to make. I say this all the time. I have training videos that really goes into detail and depth about how important that is, how you don't want to throw up on your prospect. You really want to control the situation and understand that the less you say, the more money you're going to make. A lot of people, when they first join Tower, they first join any opportunity, they're excited and they're throwing up on the prospect saying, hey, I just saw a great opportunity. We can make money. They have health supplements. They have now trading and travel and this and that, and they lose their prospect because in their prospect mind, they're just thinking that this just sounds like everything else that they ever listened to. And now, guess what? They went into the witness protection program. And some people, I will let you know this, you only got one shot with it. So you want to make sure that you are prospecting the correct way. And how I like to prospect is I like to pique people's interest. That is very, very important. I have 9 steps that I've been training on for 8 years. I'm going to share this with you all. And I know I've shared it with a lot of people over the years, a lot of close friends of mine, and they've used these 9 steps as well when it comes to prospecting. Because if you miss one of these 9 steps, and I'm going to my notes, if you miss one of these 9 steps, you can not seal the deal, and you want to seal the deal, okay? So the first thing that I do when I'm ready to go out and go on I would say, a recruiting spree, number one, I understand that my energy has to be right. And I'm not talking about, of course, we all understand you have to make the list, just like we talked about before gathering the customers. You have to make the list. That's a no-brainer, okay? But after that, I understand and make sure that my energy is right. And I've been sharing this since I've been on this platform, and I've been sharing it for years. If your energy is not right, more than likely, you're not going to seal the deal. High energy equals high income. I'm going to say it again, and I've said this numerous of times. High energy equals high income. Low energy equals low income. So if your check is not where you want it to be, I'm going to give you a challenge. Check your energy. Check your energy. See where your energy is at, right? Do an energy check, okay? Because if you want high income, you're going to have high energy. So the first thing I understand and I make sure is that my energy is correct, all right? So that's the first thing. I have to be excited because I have to get this person so excited to where they're excited to look at the video. They're excited to come to a presentation that we're having at the hotel, or they're excited to get on a Zoom, right? So I have to pique their interest with excitement because energy is transferable. You all may not understand it, but have you ever been around someone where their energy is always down and you realize the more you're around this person, you're always trying to figure out why you always got a headache, why you always depressed, all that stuff? That's because energy is transferable. You ever been around someone where you're having a bad day or your day may not be going the way you want it to go, and you get around this person, all of a sudden, you're like happy-go-lucky because you're like, this person just has great energy, right? That's because energy is transferable, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pique their interest, okay? If I don't know them, I kind of have to like guess at certain things. But if I know them, I'm going to pique their interest with something that I know will pique their interest. So, for example, if I have a friend that just told me that his car just got repossessed, right, or whatever, they took his car, or maybe his house was foreclosed on, and I know that this is something that he's dealing with, I'm going to say, hey, John, if I can help you get your car back, without changing anything you're already doing, or if I can help you save your house, or if I can help you put your daughter through college. I know that was something you mentioned to me. If I had a way to make that a reality, would you want to know how? Or if it's a person I don't know like that, I might say, hey, John, I have a question. If I could show you how to earn an extra $1,000 a month without changing anything you're already doing, would you want to know how? Definitely, Milton, of course. Great. We got to get together. Well, what is it, Milton? What is it? Look, John, I don't have to do anything I do, but I promise you this. After you see the information I'm going to share with you, you won't even be able to sleep tonight. I can promise you that I've been saying the same thing for 8 years. I said the same thing to everyone. All right? Same thing. And before you know it, John is like, wow, he's excited. Even if he wasn't excited at first, he's excited because I'm excited. My energy is up, right? So after I pique his interest, and he says that he's interested, after that, I'm going to get him in front of the information. I'm going to invite him to either watch a video, I'm going to invite him to get on a Zoom, I'm going to invite him to come to a presentation. However I'm going to do it, I'm going to get him in front of the information. That's very important, all right? I'm also going to make sure I get a time out of him. If I'm inviting him to a meeting, I don't have to get a time. If I say that the meeting is at 8 o'clock, well, I don't have to really get a time because he knows to be there at 8 o'clock. But if I'm going to have him watch a video that I may have created, or a video or whatever, Zoom, I'm going to say, John, what time will you be watching this video? That's what I need to know. What time works for you? Does 8 work for you or not? More than likely, I'm giving out times. I'm not even asking them what time works for them. I'm just saying, does 8 work or does 9 work? Because again, you got to understand everything is psychological. Everybody is used to being told what to do. They're used to being told what to do, right? So does 8 or 9 work for you? No, 8 or 9 doesn't work, but a little earlier than that, 7 may work. Great, 7. All right, I'm going to call you and remind you at 6:45 about this video, right? So I'm booking an appointment. A lot of people, when they share their plan or they try to prospect people, they're not even booking appointments. They're just saying, okay, I sent you the video through my Tava app, and that's it. They wait for them to follow up with them like they're in the business, right? It's your job to follow up with these people. These people not getting paid already. You're getting paid. So you have to book the appointment and set an alarm and be on it. You all ever see those drip campaigns? Like if you shop at certain stores like Macy's, or even I think ladies on the Zoom now, they were talking about Bath and Beyond, all those stores that you all shop at. And what do they do to you all the time? They drip on you. They drip on you. They give you text. They give you that. It's the same way you have to be in your type of business. You have to be intentional. You have to be dripping, consistently dripping on your prospects. But one method that I see a lot of people miss is that they don't book their appointment. They never book an appointment. They'll send a video and they'll forget about it, right? So what I like to do is, and I'm just telling you what I do, I book an appointment. Once I book an appointment, I go to my phone. One of my phones, I put in the calendar. I set an alarm so that I know, because I can get very busy at times, that I need to follow up with this person at 6:30, 6:45. And I'm going to send them a text, let them know, man, John, man, in 15 minutes, man, I'm about to blow your socks off. I might send him something like that, right? Just to get him even more excited to follow through on the commitment he made to watch the video, right? And after that, I always, after he watches the video, of course, I'm going to call him. I send a follow-up text, and then I'm going to call him, right? After he gets done. So if I know that the video is 10 minutes long, and he's supposed to watch it at 7, I'm calling him at 7:10, 7:13, 7:15 at the latest, right? Because maybe he started a little later, right? I'm calling him, and I'm always going to control the situation. I'm always going to always make sure I'm giving off vibes where he understands that I control the situation. He understands that even if he in his mind wants to think for a second that it wasn't a good opportunity, my mind will never think that, because in my mind, I have the best opportunity in the world. And I want him to believe the same. So when I call him and I talk to him at 7:10 or 7:15, I'm going to automatically say, John, do you see why I told you wouldn't be able to sleep? Do you see why I'm so excited right now? I'm not going to say, well, John, did you like it? What did you think? I'm not going to even give him a chance to say anything negative, right? I'm going to control the situation. You always want to control the situation, right? And then after that, I'm always going for the close. Like anytime I show the plan, I'm never expecting someone not to sign it. Ever. I'm never expecting that. I'm always expecting that everyone I show the plan to, they're going to sign up, period. That's what I expect, because one thing I've learned over the years is that whatever you expect, that's what you're going to get. If you expect to never close anyone out, you're never going to get no one signed up. Okay, so you have to have a certain level of confidence, which we talked about on many other Zooms, that if you don't have confidence, your people are going to sense that, just like a dog will sense a person that's scared of them. They'll sense that. And they'll start trying to attack the person or do whatever dogs do, right? I'm not a dog person, but I know that about dogs, right? So you have to have that confidence that it's just loud, right? Because also these people have to really believe that they can make money with you. Because that's another reason why I believe a lot of people don't join people in these type of companies, because they honestly, even if they do join, they don't join with the person that may have showed it to them first, because they have to honestly believe that that person has enough confidence to help them make money, right? So you have to make sure you always control the situation. Like I said, I said, hey, do you see why I'm so excited? And I said, hey, man, let's make this money. Let's stop playing. Let's make some money. I may ask him, do you have any questions? But after that, I'm telling him, let's make some money, right? Let's do this. I said, it's your time. And then, of course, they have questions. You always want to do the three-way call. And that's something that a lot of people miss. They miss that three-way call. That validation call is so important. It is so important. I remember in my first company that I ever really joined and had a big amount of success in, I remember the number one income earner over there, he made 80 million. He made 80 million in one company, right? And he used to always say this, I'll never forget, Mr. McClure. He used to always say, if you don't do the three-way call, you didn't show the plan. You didn't show the plan. If you miss any of these steps that I just gave you and you didn't follow those steps to the T, because you got to follow every step. In his mind, you didn't show the plan. And he was really, really talking about more so the three-way call. If you don't do that three-way call, you didn't show the plan. It's like saying I'm going to make pizza and all you have is pepperoni on the table and you're trying to serve your kids pizza. Say, okay, Johnny, okay, Barbie, or, Ralph, or whatever your kids' names may be, right? It could be whatever, whoever, right? Or it doesn't have to be your kids. It could be your brother. Let's say you're cooking for your mom. Hey, Mom, come downstairs. Come to the table. Dinner served. And your mom comes to the table and she looked and all she sees is pepperoni on the plate. She said, oh, Mom, here's your pizza. Here's your pizza, Mom. She's going to look at you like you're crazy. This is not a pizza. How can you say this is a pizza? Because it's pepperoni, because you did one of the steps. You had the pepperoni, but where's all the other stuff, the other stuff that goes on the pizza, right? So you have to follow these steps to the T. And then the most important thing that you do after you do this, of course, you got to be quick with signing your people up. Okay, and we already talked about three-way call before. I hope you all understand the edification that goes with the three-way call. You don't just get your person on the line and say, hey, John, this is Martha. Martha just watched the video. Go ahead, John. You got to make sure you properly introduce that person, edify them, and they'll edify you back. And then after that, you mute the line. You let them do what they do. They close your people out. That's what a closer is supposed to do. I do so many three-way calls a day. It's ridiculous, right? How many three-way calls I do. But that's my job, to close. And whoever your closer is, that's their job. But it's your job to edify them and be quiet and let them do what they do and not interrupt them. So that's very, very important. And then I think the most important thing that you all want to get from this is that you don't do it one time. You don't say, oh, I tried this last week, it didn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't happen like that. Network marketing is truly where you have to continue to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. You have to put in your 10,000 hours. You have to do that. You have to. So you have to do the same thing over and over and over the correct way and over. And those are the people that have the most success in Tava. Those are the people that have the most success in network marketing. Those people that could continually perform at a high level, even when they don't feel like it. Like I shared with you all the message I just shared before I even start talking about gathering customers and gathering distributors. Those are the people that can deal with the mental part of this industry, where you have to continue to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm telling you, if you do this, success will overtake you. It just has to happen. It has to happen. One thing about me, I don't really, I'm not too bothered with really the results anymore. As long as I know that I'm putting the work in, at whatever time God says that this person gonna come and that person gonna come and God is gonna provide the increase, that's when the increase is gonna happen. I understand my role. I understand I don't provide the increase. He provides the increase. My job is to do what I'm supposed to do. My job is not to try to figure it out. My job is not to convince people, right? My job is to provide the information, do the best of my ability, making sure I followed all steps. I close to the best of my ability. And then guess what? I let everything else fall where it falls. And as long as I'm showing up, I'm doing my numbers every day, I'm okay with that. And that's what you have to understand. You cannot control who does what in your business. What you can control is your actions. So I want to share that with you all, and hopefully you all got some nuggets from what I shared. And I'll share one more thing with you all. I don't know if Lachelle is going to, well, I know she's not. I know Lachelle is busy. I forgot. I'm so used to Lachelle being on here. But I'm going to share something with you all that I think maybe some of you may be able to take something from as well. And I remember this was in 2017, so this was actually a while back as well. I had spoken in front of 20,000 people, and this was at one of our big events, and they had asked me to speak and share something with the company at that time. And it was very powerful. People still, according to what people say, I'm not going to toot my own horn. I'm just saying what people still tell me. And it was really, really impactful from what people tell me. And hopefully this could touch you. And I'm going to end this training with this. And if people have questions, I'll answer the questions that I see pop up before we get ready to end, because I know it's kind of early. But this was in 2017. And I shared this message, and it was mainly talking about the process. Everybody wants to be on top. Everybody wants to make a lot of money and be the best and be this and be that, but nobody wants to fall in love with process, right? I remember listening to a couple of sermons with TD Jakes, where TD Jakes was talking about how a lot of people see TD Jakes as who he is today, right? But they don't see the TD Jakes that was the janitor cleaning the church for his pastor a long time ago. They didn't see him mopping the floors and serving, and while he was doing that, he was practicing. I'll never forget, he was talking about how he'll be preaching to himself. You know how when you're trying to learn something, or you're learning a song, or even like I used to be when I was learning the presentations and different things, right? You'll be talking to yourself. That was what he was doing, right? But he said everybody, when it comes to success, they just want to microwave it. And success is not something that can be just microwave. You have to crock pot. It's like something that has to be put in the crock pot, right? So I'm going to talk about process, because I believe if you understand process, you'll stay motivated long enough to see the fruit that many of you, I believe, want to see in time, right? So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and end it with this speech I gave, or I call it a sermon I gave in 2017. And I'm going to take out some of the words, because, of course, this was 2017. We're going into 2023. So this is, of course, a different company. So I'm not going to mention that company name. But I'm going to play with the words, and you all will be able to tell what I'm doing. All right. So check it out. Last week, my uncle sent me a TD Jakes sermon, which led me to one of the most powerful messages I had ever heard in my life, entitled, "Start Deleting Your Distractions." Many of us are not successful today in Tava because we have too many distractions. Either we're distracted by television, social media, relationship issues, and believe it or not, many of us get distracted by others' successes. In order for you to become successful in Tava and in life, you must learn to focus by deleting your distractions. As we look at and admire our top earners here in Tava, we aspire to be like them and try to emulate them in order to also become successful. However, when it doesn't happen as quickly for us as we feel it did for them, we become discouraged. And the reason this happens is because we fell in love with success versus process. But what we must realize is that even our top earners here in Tava didn't get to where they are overnight. It was a process. And I challenge everyone here today on this live to focus on the process. Because if you fall in love with the process, success will come by default. Now, what is the process? The process is the practice. It's the rehearsal. You know, that boring time in which no one is patting you on your back, no one is clapping for you, no one is cheering for you, no one knows your name. But the promotion is like the Super Bowl. It's that big event where everyone is clapping for you, everyone is cheering for you, everyone knows your name. But how many players do you think actually played in the Super Bowl without showing up to practice? Well, just as you can't play in the Super Bowl without practicing, you also cannot be successful in Tava if you don't make the practice. I myself even had to go through a process before I got to where I am today. I remember my first event in 2015. No one knew who I was. I sat right up there in that corner by myself. However, I appreciated where I was and understood that I was currently in a rehearsal/practice stage in my Tava career, and that at that time I wasn't going to get the accolades others were getting. I wasn't going to get the accolades others were getting because I hadn't yet gone through the process. However, that didn't mean it wasn't meant for me to achieve the same awards. It just meant I had to go through the process before I could be promoted. In life, whatever you're practicing for, that's what's going to give itself back to you. If you're practicing for Tava, Tava is going to give itself back to you. I remember when I used to bring my tablet everywhere I went, and I would practice the Tava presentation. And I would talk to myself, and my family and friends would look at me like I was crazy. But as I look back on those days, I realized that I was practicing for my promotion. I didn't know that soon I would be traveling all over the world, speaking and giving presentations, and be on Tyler HQ with Lachelle and Mr. and Mrs. Lloyd. I didn't know that I would be asked to share the stage with them and win the awards at our big events. I simply embraced the process, and the promotion came by default. This is why you never compromise the rehearsal for the recital, because the reality is, if there is no rehearsal time, there will be no recital. Everything you are ever going to be in Tyler, you already are in another form. As TD Jakes said, you are the acorn of an oak tree. An oak tree starts as a small nut. It has the same ingredients. It is just in a different form. And even though it doesn't look like a tree, if you water it, you give it enough sun, and you allow for it to go through the process, sooner or later, it will become that oak tree. Because being an acorn is only a temporary situation. That acorn represents many of our Tyler careers today. For we all begin as acorns. But water that acorn. Give it enough sunlight and take care of it, as if it is already that oak tree that you know it will become. Because where you are today is only a temporary situation. And that before you can dream about tomorrow, you must appreciate where you are and who you are today. So don't fall in love with the fact that I am sitting right here or standing up here, but fall in love with the fact that not long ago, I was back there. And if you don't remember anything else I've said, remember to practice and embrace the process. Because if you do just that, success is on the way. And I gave that speech back in 2017 in front of 20,000 people. It was the first time I ever spoke in front of a crowd that big, but it really still rings bells, because we always have to remind ourselves, when we get down on ourselves, when we feel like this is not happening or this is not happening, everything is a process. And if you fall in love with the process, success is on the way. So that's all I have for you all. I hope you all enjoyed this live. And I don't see any questions. Let's see what time it is. Oh, it's almost time to end it. But I hope you all got some from this. So again, if we just recap, always, when making important decisions in life, building your Tyler business or, anything else you have to do in life, because you all have other things going on in life, not just Tyler. Always ask yourself, what are the facts? What are the facts? So even when you feel like not going out and showing a plan and doing what you know you need to do for your business, say, okay, what are the facts? Skip how I feel, because my feelings are, in so many words, I'm trying to be kind, our feelings are stupid, right? They have no brain. But what are the facts? And the facts are, if I don't put the work in, I won't get the results. The facts are, if I don't show the plan, no one will ever join my business. That's just the facts. So you can post on social media all day. You can post them pictures. I see a lot of people do that, and I'm not knocking what people do, because I post on Facebook. But I realize a lot of times I don't even have time to post on Facebook, because I'm doing income-producing activity, and I understand that don't pay. That don't pay, And I share this with my team all the time. Trying is great. Don't get me wrong, but nobody gets paid for trying. And I may sound harsh, but I'm just being honest with you. Trying does not pay the bills. Executing pays the bills. Okay, we can try all day long. If I tell Mr. Lloyd, I call Mr. Lloyd after this call, say, Mr. Lloyd, I tried to get people to sign up. I'm not gonna get paid for that. We have other businesses, right? We have daycare centers. We don't pay people off for trying, right? You have to go out and execute, okay? Because that's the only thing that pays. So what I'm saying is, in order to get into that phase of execution, you have to ask yourself all the time. When you have that little voice coming to your head, you got to cast it down. Cast it down and say, okay, I know I don't feel like doing this. I know I don't feel like being a leader and doing my own presentation and learning the presentation and setting up my own meetings. But what are the facts? What are the facts? If I don't do this, I'll never get to that income or where I want to be. Okay? I tell people that all the time. The number one thing I would tell anyone, I tell my team this all the time: learn the presentation. Because when you start standing up, your check stands up. I joined this industry January 26, 2015. And that was the day I started learning the presentation. I think I shared that with you all before. Day one. It was never, it took a year. I waited on my upline a lot to do this. No, because I understand one thing that another mentor told me a long time ago. He said, when you give somebody the power to feed you, you also have given them the power to starve you. I'm going to say that one more time. Somebody may catch that later, but it was a mentor of mine I have a tremendous amount of respect for. He said that. He said, when you give somebody the power to feed you, just know you've also given them the power to starve you. I remember that training. That was a powerful training he did. Okay. And that's why it's important to know how to do everything that your leaders know how to do. Know how to close, know how to do this, because you never have to worry about anybody. Oh, this person didn't show up, so we didn't know. You know how you learn how to do everything yourself. That's how you start to execute. But you ask yourself, what are the facts? If I don't learn how to do certain things, I'm not going to make the type of money I see other people making. So again, always ask yourself what the facts are, and you'll make great destiny decisions. When it comes to customers, I like the favor approach. There are other approaches. I get it. You know, a lot of you all have host to post and other stuff that you do when it comes to retail and stuff like that. But again, I like the favor approach. Remember, excitement, energy. I need you to come through for me the same way I would come through for you. Those little things that make a difference. And gather the distributors, less you say, the more money you make. Remember that. And again, just remember process. So I don't know if I could take a question or two real quick before I end this. I can't really see any questions popping up on here. But if I don't see any questions, I'm gonna get ready to end it. But I hope you all enjoyed this. Let me look on my other device. I hope you all enjoyed this information. Okay, now I can see the comments. But maybe I'll take 3 questions and then I'll go ahead and end it real quick. I'll end it. Let's see. Okay, I got my phone up. So I'm looking at the questions. Let's see if I see any questions. Anyone have any questions they would like to ask before I end this? Oh, Kimberly, you're so sweet. How do you get so awesome? You're awesome as well. Proud of you, champion. I see you executing. Thank you, Tiffany. I covered the basics. All right. Any questions real quick before I end this call? It's all clear. Keith says it's all clear. The basics. We just went over the basics today. This is not like an extensive training. This was just the basics today. But we'll do all that other stuff later. All right. Well, I don't see any questions. So, well, I'm going to leave you all with this. Yep, no questions. I don't see no questions on it. So I'm going to leave you all with this. And a lot of times in my presentations with this same interview, because it's an interview I remember for the rest of my life. I remember watching this interview with Larry King and Bill Gates. And Bill Gates was letting people know how he became one of the most wealthiest men in America, right? He's very wealthy. We all know Bill Gates, right? And Larry King was interviewing him, and he said it was 3 things. He said it was 3 things that made him very wealthy. He said the first thing, it was timing. He said he was in the right place at the right time. He said if I would have been born in the 1600s, or if I would have been, born this time, whatever, I probably wouldn't have been able to do what I was able to do. But he said I was in the right place at the right time. And many of you may not understand it. You may not realize it. And I've shared this so many times, but you and everyone on this live and everyone a part of Tava, because of how the freshness of Tava and how new it is, you are in the right place at the right time, whether you realize or not. You are. I'm telling you right now, you are in the right place at the right time. We have the best products in the world. Our products really work. We have we have a great comp plan, very aggressive comp plan. We have a new division that's coming or that's here. I mean, you are really in the right place at the right time. So you have that checked off the same way Bill Gates had it checked off, right? The second thing he said was he had the vision. He saw where computers were headed. See, Bill Gates didn't wait for everyone else to catch the vision, right? That's a mistake people make. They say, oh, I'm going to do this when I see you be successful, right? I'm going to do this when I see this happens or this happens. And that's the biggest mistake you can ever make, because you have to get on board before everyone gets on board, because you want to be the one to pave the way so others can follow, right? But he said he saw where computers were headed before they were even out. He said he saw it, okay? You have to see not where Tava is now, but you have to see what Tava is going to be 3 or 4 years later down the road. When it's cool, you know, everybody want to do stuff when it looks cool, right? You got to do stuff before it even looks cool to do it, when others are not doing it. So that when the overflow comes, the overflow is under who? It's under you. But you have to have a vision. You have to understand that everybody is going towards, you know, more healthy options and being healthy and want to feel good. And they understand that, hey, people leaving up out of here because of their health. Better start taking their health seriously. So you have to have the vision of where this world is headed, even in the health realm, right? So he had the vision. And the third thing he said was he took action. He took that action. He said he never forget he had a conversation with Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs was working on the same thing he was working on. And Steve Jobs gave him a call one day and said, hey, you know, Bill, it's this guy in Phoenix, Arizona. He's working on what we've been talking about. I'm a little busy right now, like many of you probably say the same thing. Hey, I'm busy. You know, I know what y'all got going on the top, but you know, I got this going on right now. I'm busy. I got this going on. Same thing Steve Jobs said, right? He said, you know, Bill, I'm busy, but I just want to let you know about a guy in Phoenix, Arizona. They say he got this and he can do this. And what Bill did was he listened to what Steve said. He said, he took it in, and he ended up getting the guy's phone number. He ended up calling the guy, had a conversation with the guy. He ended up booking a ticket to go down to Phoenix, Arizona. He sat with that guy for the weekend, however many days, I don't remember. And to make a long story short, because he took action, that's why Microsoft is on 98% of the computers today, because he took action. So with all this being said, none of this means anything. None of these little nuggets I gave you, because I did not give you that much. I just gave you something to think about. I gave you a little appetizer. None of this means nothing if we don't go out and take action and execute. Not just take action. We need to take action, but we need to execute. We need to put points on the scoreboard. We need to execute, because that's the only thing that matters at the end of the day. All right, so leave you all with that. Remember, go out, build your business, be a blessing to people, and remember, people don't miss out on opportunities because someone lied to them, even though they think that's why. You want to know why most people miss out on opportunities? Because someone told them the truth and they refuse to believe. Don't let that be you. I'm Milton, Burt. I love each and every one of you. There's nothing you can do about it. You all have a great one. Take care, and God bless you, and may God certainly bless your family. Have a great one, family.
Come with me, with love, I know places too far. Come with me, with love, I know places too far to go. We can take you around the world, catch this fly with me, with love, I know places too far to go. New places, new faces, yeah, new zip codes. New money, NFTs and plus crypto. I don't need care cash no more. Digital currency on me. Overseas we back and forth. Round trips all aboard, baby. There's room at the top. We'll save a spot for you. Can't no one limit us, so you should come with me. With love, I know places too far. Come with me. With love, I know places too far to go.